Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's coverage of the second season of the NASCAR Class C Maconi Setup Shop Fix Series. This evening, we are excited to be bringing you top split action from the weekly Strength of Field race from Irison's virtual Bristol Motor Speedway in Bristol, Tennessee. Maconi Entertainment is here to bring you action from all types of racing, including the weekly Fast Friday series. No matter what you are racing, we can bring the action to life. My name is Alexander Valderas, and joining me in the booth is Will Tiller, with Ryan Bauer working the controls as our producer, using cameras provided by the great Dougie Beard. Will, Bristol is known as the last great Coliseum in all the lanes, and fair game for passing, bumping, and dumping. What can we expect to see here from tonight?
Oh, we're going to see a very competitive race, 75 laps at this Coliseum here at Bristol. Everybody knows it's everybody's favorite short track turns, banked at 24 to 28 degrees. About a half a mile around this track, opened in 1961. And Alex, you look at this track here tonight, you kick off this brand new season. No better track to do it at a track like Bristol.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. And calling back to last season, point standings at the end of 23 Season 3, Jacob Schneider over Ryan Andrew, Jordan Kuntz. That's your top three going in here tonight. Right now, they're all very close in points. So can we see this exciting championship battle continue on here from Bristol? We'll just have to see when the cars get back out on track.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's been that qualifying process to get into this session here. Tonight's going to be the 25 best drivers here in this race. And, you know, Alex, these drivers have had a week off of this series. They've gotten back comfortable in this. Do you think there's any butterflies or any nervousness out of these drivers here tonight?
Well, these guys have been racing up front, and the cream of the crop so far. This is the weekly S.O.F race, the highest strength of field we'll see from the entire race week. These guys are used to banging each other up, and these guys are used to racing each other door to door. So the only butterflies here tonight are the butterflies in victory lane. These guys are going to duel it out at the last great Coliseum here in Bristol, Tennessee.
Yeah, checking out Bristol here as we look to get things kicked off. And Alex, I think we're ready to rock and roll here tonight. That official starting grid is ready to go.
Ryan Andrew takes pole position over Abraham Vila. That rounds out your row number one. Moving on to row number two, Christopher Strange and Andre Castro in fourth in that number one truck. Joey Mashewitz and Kyle Perry there in row three. Jumping now to row number four with Jeff Maconi and Cole Pokin in the number 15 machine. Then Joshua Dickens and John Hall to round out row number five.
Row number six, row cadet Matthew Esparza in that 19, and Andrew Lutz in that 17. Row number 7 is going to have James Floyd in that 11, and Jacob Schneider in that 6. Row number 8 is going to feature Brooks Marshall in that 13, and Daniel Monsteller in that 4. Row number 9 is going to have Tal Owen and Brandon Cherburko in that 12. And row number 10 is going to have Lee Haran and Rob Pertson in that 16.
Rounding out the rest of the grid in row 11 is Brett Garber and Ryan Hartz. They did not set a time as well. And the final couple of spots, Scott Bell and Adrian Harney round out the back end of the grid. No row 13 as we get ready to get on to this race here tonight. Partly cloudy. Why don't you give us the rest of the weather conditions?
You look at that wind speed here, 2 miles an hour, track temperature around 80 degrees. But Alex, you know as well as I do here at a track like Bristol, track temperature outside, daytime, nighttime race here, it's going to be some beating and banging. It's going to be survival of the fittest. It's going to be whether or not you're going to be the last truck at the end, the truck at the top of the grid here at these 75 laps. You have to make sure you keep it moving and avoid all the chaos that's going to ensue.
Yeah, and right you are. And one thing I want to call back to from just last week in the last S.O.F race, we saw Joshua Dickens battle it out with Anthony Burrows for the win at Darlington, another great short track. Joshua Dickens lines up ninth today. He goes for a strong run. He was super fast on that last restart, hunting down the 62 machine for Nexus Esports, who ended up in victory lane. I imagine that he's one of my picks to at least get a top 5 here tonight. But who knows what we're going to see at the Last Great Coliseum. Multiple lanes to be used. Top and bottom are usually the ones that are run by everybody, but that middle lane, you shouldn't underestimate it. Some people can rip that around really good. So we're going to see a lot of different lanes being used today, the bumper, and a lot of other ways to move. Colder track conditions means a little bit more grip for these guys in the rear as we're getting ready to roll off the grid. With it being a nighttime race, cold track conditions meaning cold track and cold tires, needing a little extra grip in the rear, but it could mean that these guys could get tight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that another aspect of this race, it's always a blast for me to be on these C-Class Fix Maconi Entertainment broadcasts, Alex. But tonight's a special thing, though. It's the kickoff of a brand new season, so there might be some drivers here in tonight's race that we haven't seen yet. They're trying to shine through, maybe watch some races from last season, now trying to make themselves known here in this series.
Yeah, and right you are as we go for a couple of pace laps here at Bristol Motor Speedway in Bristol, Tennessee. Getting ready for the race analysis here. NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series with 75 laps here at Bristol. No fast repair and one green-white checkered attempt here in Bristol, Tennessee. As these guys have been the cream of the crop so far. A lot of familiar names but a couple unfamiliar faces here at the front of the field. Like I said, my name is Alexander Balderas, joined in the booth with Will Teller tonight for the S.O.F series, the S.O.F race in the Maconi C-Class Setup Shop Fixed Series. Tonight we're getting ready for some grand action as these guys are getting ready to take the green flag. Ryan Andrew and Abraham Vila, your two line leaders as the pace car comes down pit road. We're getting ready to take the green flag, and Barney's getting ready to wave it away as we're green from Bristol. Short lap times here in Bristol as already Ryan Andrews storming out to a lead over Abraham Vila. Andre Castro and Christopher Strange now just lining up just behind. These guys already wasting no time in the back of the pack, going side by side and ready for some electrifying battles here. You can just see in that main pack back there how many people want to make up spots off the start and gain as much track position as they can, because with all these multiple lanes, it's good and all that you can race people on these lanes, but can you pass them is the more important question. These guys are all getting ready to go side by side for throwing 75 laps, and Jeff Maconi goes around. He's going to stay sideways, and I believe he's going to save it, and the first caution of the night comes out as Jeff Maconi locks it down. No damage, but interesting to see a spin already. We're going to get an instant replay, and goes into, I believe that's turn 3, getting ready to come off the banking, and just see Dickens go out in front of him, but he goes down to the low line. Did he clear himself? No, he just gets loose. Off of 4, he gets loose and goes around.
And Alex, right before that happened, and I think this can be alluded to, that cold tire, cold track aspect you were talking about. Also, we saw Ryan Andrew on the start of that race go to the inside track, as you were speaking about as well. So really, two things that you touched on to start this race off have already happened as we watched Jeff Maconi bring out our first caution.
So once again, first caution here out tonight in the S.O.F race at Bristol Motor Speedway. One spin in the back. It was Jeffrey Maconi, and he lines up at the tail end of the field after qualifying about the mid-pack. Pretty good qualifying effort from Jeff. Lines him up at the back of the field after a spin. Luckily, though, no damage. So even though the new damage model, you don't want to get any damage, no matter if it's a short track. It'll slow your car down, be a couple tenths off the pace no matter what. And in this high level, this high strength of field race, a couple tenths could be you in the lead or you in 15th. There's a major difference between that. And these drivers don't want to get any piece of damage on their race car. One pretty good mover of the race is Daniel Mosteller, starting out in the high teens, finds himself up to 11th place. Joshua Dickens finds himself just ahead in the 10th spot. Ryan Andrew, our leader, still over Abraham Vila, Andre Castro, and Cole Pulkin takes the spot for 4th place over Christopher Strange, and John Hall just behind. But these top 4, or at least these top 2, we've seen here run enough. And Ryan Andrew, so far, looking good on points, as he, I believe, is one of the only ones besides Dickens to come off from Darlington now to this week. So points-wise, he's looking for a good points finish if he can find himself in the top 3, and that'll boost him up a couple points to move him up into the first position over Jacob Snyder. Ryan Andrew finds himself in second position, and so far he's having a good points night.
Yeah, absolutely. You saw right there on that restart, Alex really rocketed off that inside lane. That 88 Maconi setup shot machine looked very good. Those first couple laps had a groove starting to build there before that first caution flag flew.
Getting ready to go green again from Bristol, ending the first caution here tonight. Ryan Andrew over Abraham Vila. Then it's Andre Castro, Cole Polkin to take the top 4. That's your fast 4 out front right now. It's the pace car. Going to pull down to pit road once again. Barney ready as ever to wave the green flag, and we're green for the next restart in Bristol. Wasting no time off that start, Andre Castro moves up into the second position. Looks like that outside line just can't get a good enough jump as the inside does, and so that inside line just has that advantage. Here's some great side-by-side action here in the middle of the field, riding on board with James Floyd III in the 11 machine. James finds himself in the 10th position, battling it out with Andrew Lutz Jr., Christopher Strange, and Kyle Perry. That's all for the top 10th position. As we've got to lose the 64. He's going to save it, but they go around behind him. And the second caution is out again here in Bristol. And like I was saying earlier, I figured that colder track temps leave these guys a little more rear-end security. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case off the start. We're going to get an instant replay. Here we're going to see 64 just gets loose. That's Joey. As these guys in the back, he gets loose and they check up and just, yeah, that's just the classic Bristol stack up. Oh, hold the brakes. As he doesn't hold the brakes, he goes to the top side lane. The 12 just tried to avoid that as much as he can. Ryan B. Hart's most, what a great save from him. And just barely taps the rear end to Daniel Mostello prior to the wreck, and good job missing. Oh, a terrible lick there at the start finish just behind. So second caution out here in the S.O.F race in Bristol, and these guys barely able to get some laps down. Lap 14 out of 75, and right now Ryan Andrew over Andre Castro, Abraham Vila, Cole Polkin still your fast 4 out front right now. A lot of wrecks being in that mid-pack, not really in the back or in the front. That mid-pack just seems so contested and congested that these guys seem to be side-by-side for so long that maybe they're pushing their rears a little too much, spin the tires in the restart, flash that right rear with too much temperature and go around off of 4. Seems to be the common theme. And I feel like we're going to see that again for the rest of the night. Oh my God. That might be the most skew I've ever seen in a truck that still looks functional. I don't know if we can get a look at that truck. Oh my God, I believe that's the 6 car. And may I believe it, he might have been sideways at a pit road going straight. I mean, catching that out the corner of my eye. I don't know how he's still on the track, but kudos to him for dragging that thing. You know, don't take me out, coach. I can still race. But right now, under the second caution, lap 15 out of 75. 2-car spin in the middle of the pack brings out the yellow one more time. Ryan Andrew, Andre Castro, Abraham Vila, and Cole to be your fast 4. Trying to get a look and see what that truck was, although custom numbers, yeah, fiddling with that just a little bit. As these guys are going to have a great restart. Will, any thoughts?
I'm just ready to see how long of a run we can have here. These green flag runs haven't lasted very long. I think what you've been talking about, though, as the trucks are bouncing in that group setting, very cold tires, very cold track. If we can get those tires warmed up just a little bit, how far can we go on a green flag run?
I'm saying we could go for probably an easy 35-lap green flag run. As the pace car makes his dive down pit road, and for the second time, we're green here in Bristol. Now, this is interesting. This is the first time we've seen all night that outside lane actually gets a better jump than the inside. Andre Castro holds him off, and he'll still stay in the second position. Maconi moves up a spot over Abraham Vila. Then it's John Hall, Joshua Dickens, who was in 10th earlier just a few laps ago, finds himself moving up the field quick. Noticeably, one of those short track ringers, we found himself running second to Anthony Burrows and could have gotten the win. Just a few hundred scraped him away from that first position at Darlington. And I believe we have another yellow out again, lap 20 out of 75, and oh, it's Jeff again. What did Jeff do this time?
Yellow flag is out once again here as we check out this instant replay, and this will answer it for you there. Alex just gets a little love tap from behind there on the apex of 3 and 4.
Yeah, I mean, these trucks have so much downforce, but they're also really sketchy in the rear end. I mean, if you just so happen to lift the rear tires off the ground, that thing's going around. And perfect example by Jeff. Maybe, maybe not the best example we would have wanted, but a great save. And once again, locks it down and no damage still, but that's the second incident he's found himself in. And that is going to be the third caution here in Bristol. Lap 21 out of 75, Ryan Andrew has not gone away from the lead. All of the perfectly timed cautions, Daniel Mosteller finds himself again in the 11th position. And a couple of trucks getting their lap back, getting the lucky dog from these yellows. Now, that's one thing I will talk about. Ryan Andrew has led all but one lap here tonight. One thing I was going to mention earlier, with all of these guys fraying and, being, I'm going to be a lap down. With how this race is going so far, I don't think anyone has a chance to be a lap down at all. Everyone is just going to get a yellow and get their lap back immediately. So I would not fret if I was a lap down, because clearly you're getting every chance in the book to get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a track like Bristol is a confidence track there, Alex. I think if Ryan Andrew can stay out for maybe 20 or more so laps, maybe get to lap 40, he's going to start to feel it a little bit. He's going to know he has this race. He's locked in. And you mentioned it. If you can't keep pace, you start to slide off, you lose a lap on the racetrack. It's going to be very, very difficult to try to come back here with somebody that's so locked in like Ryan Andrew is at the top.
Yeah, and right here stands still our leader at the front of the field, lap 23 out of 75. Ryan Andrew over Andre Castro, Cole Polkin, and Abraham Vila. That's been your top four for basically the whole race, apart from Christopher Strange, which has... Christopher Stage. I just noticed that. Sorry, I apologize, but he was originally in the top four, finds himself in the 7th position. Joshua Dickens, like I mentioned before, was second place to Anthony Burrows, finds himself up 6th again. And so my bets are on him to at least come out of this with a top 5 if he keeps his nose clean. And that's one of the biggest things here at Bristol. You don't want to get involved in a wreck at all. Because as much as Bristol is a short track, and people say aerodynamics don't matter at a short track, there he goes again out of pit road. I'm just amazed that he's able to keep that out on track. But we find ourselves here, with the classic saying of aerodynamics don't matter at a short track, but if you get knocked in the right front and that handling's all out of whack, then it's going to be a tough and long night for you at the most banked short track there is in the NASCAR schedule. The last great Coliseum in Bristol, Tennessee. It's Bristol, baby, for the S.O.F series here, the Maconi Class C Trucks C-Fixed race, the first one of the new season, as the pace car is going to make its jump down pit road. We're getting ready to say green again, and we are back green in Bristol. Ryan Andrews still out front right now. Andre Castro following in his footsteps. Right now, Vila on that top side lane going to make up a couple spots. He finds himself up to 3rd as he goes back down to the bottom lane. We're going to see that bottom lane really come into play here off the start with that momentum off the top. It's just going to be so hard to defend from, especially when that top side lane is trying to make a pass. Riding on board with Vila, he squeezes the 5 almost into the wall. That's Joshua Dickens. He moves himself up to 3rd.
Yeah,
like I was saying earlier, Go ahead, Will.
Oh, nope. Caution flag is out here once again as that 75 machine right there is going to spin out on the racetrack.
A caution out again, I believe, for the 6th time tonight. These guys leaving each other no space, and what I thought was maybe going to be a clean race. Figured that there was going to be some tempers and maybe some incidents here in Bristol, but was not expecting this. The 12 just 3 wide. Again, 2 12s, and they both caused chaos here tonight. Next to the sandwiched in between the 2 12s. I didn't even notice that. The 12 gets loose in the bottom, comes up the track, and the 12 up top squeezes the 75 in the middle, and just nothing at all the 75 could do. Riding on board with Jeff Maconi, who's made up a few spots, his recovery drive going well. He saw this incident firsthand, and what a way to skate by. Out of all the incidents he's been through tonight, that he could have avoided very well, and he did.
Trying to bring out the fall colors a tad bit early there, Alex, and I think pays for it there with that Halloween-themed paint scheme. I think September might be a little bit too early for the Halloween decorations.
Well, as a matter of fact, we're almost halfway through September, as we're almost halfway through tonight's race. James Floyd the third, as a matter of fact, in the 6 rematch truck. I don't know how he hasn't spun. The car control that man has is incredible for him being as skewed as he is, shades of Sam Hornish. He was, I believe, the lucky dog, and he'll find himself on the lead lap once again. So the most angular and angled looking truck in the field is now back on the lead lap. Who would have thought, after being in an incident earlier, and from that position you would have thought your race is over, but he's contested his way back up again to a lead lap spot, and incredible recovery drive from him to be in a wreck and now back on the lead lap. But caution, let's talk to Ryan Andrew here for a second, our race leader. Ryan, I believe, might be here. Ryan, you got us here in the Maconi Entertainment booth?
Yep, I got you.
Ryan, you've led all but 1 lap here tonight. You look very strong out front, able to get those restarts ready and away. Give us a little information on what it's like being out front and what it means for these constant cautions.
Well, you're always going to have that restart advantage of being able to launch first, and that's what's keeping me the lead, and then they're just not getting enough laps to be able to catch me before the caution comes out. So just need to keep on doing what I'm doing and make the right pit strategy calls.
Well, absolutely, as we are 1 lap to green. Thank you for stopping by with us for a moment to give you how your race is going, and hope all goes well for you.
All right, thank you.
That was the voice of our leader, the number 88 truck of Ryan Andrew, as we're getting ready to go green here again in Bristol for, I believe, the 6th time. So, we find ourselves with another restart, and we're getting ready to go green here again. The pace car comes down pit road as Ryan Andrews off and away, and once again, we're green from Bristol. Ryan Andrews away in yellow already. Adrian Harney, the truck who got his lap back just a few laps ago, finds himself wrecked again. Here it is. Oh my God, maybe off the restart. These guys hanging back behind. Let's see. He goes to the top. Oh my God, he just gets run over and hooked. Oh. And miraculously, the 38 just barely scrapes by. Great wreck avoidance from him. I mean, that must be crazy from his cockpit. Riding on board with Scott Bell, the man who missed that wreck. You can see him gets turned, goes up to the wall, goes as low as possible. Oh! I would need a new pair of underwear after that. My God, what a great wreck avoidance from him. Let's watch it again, as from his point of view, that's got to be one of the closest wrecks in Bristol, apart from being in the wreck he's probably ever seen. Gets hooked and just up the track and Wow. What reaction time will do to you.
Yeah, so close there for that 38 machine. And good thing too, Alex, I talked to you a few laps ago about these green flag runs. You said about 35 laps. I don't think we've completed 5 to 6 laps on the green so far.
Yeah, and you're right about that. These guys haven't been under caution so much. I'm imagining that every caution or so extends the fuel run by just a few laps. So I think the pit window may now be moved forward to, I'm saying, lap 50, where these guys are really going to start feeling that wear on their front side tires on the right front. And all the field is going to feel it then, and they're going to eventually have to come down pit road for fuel. I can only assume.
Yeah, I think so too, but it's just, if it's just start and go pace, I think that really changes the strategy per se. Like if you had that green flag run you were talking about, Alex, you're starting to go like this, you're talking about windows that are a lot longer. You're not putting so much stress on that fuel tank or those tires here at Bristol. You can keep it rocking for a little bit longer, but it's when how long can you stretch that, as we watch Ryan Andrews still pace it at the low side of the racetrack at the top. A few guys up there, though, I think are making noise. You look at the 5 machine of Joshua Dickens, he was fast there in that run before that yellow flag flew.
Yeah, absolutely. Joshua Dickens, one of the short track ringers we've seen so far in the C-Fix series, finds himself within the top 3. He will find himself in the 3rd position and in a great spot to come out here on top out of Bristol with the win. Under caution again for the 7th time. Lap 37 out of 75. Pit window I'm gonna shoot for is lap 50 before these guys have to come in and take tires. Although I am not opposed to some of these guys just staying out for the whole race, because there is no mandatory pit stop. If you could stretch everything, you could make it to the end without ever coming down pit road, and that might be some of the strategies that these guys use to make up some spots in track position, because even though tires mean a lot, track position means a lot too. Getting ready to go green here again in Bristol. Coming up to the restart zone, the pace car going to make its dive down pit road. And as we enter the Geico restart zone, we're going to be green again from Bristol. Ryan Andrews still once again our leader over Andre Castro. Abraham Vila and Joshua Dickens there. That's your top 4. These guys getting mightily close to each other again. So these cautions just not bearing any mind to anyone in the field right now. These guys are going at it tooth and nail. These guys are just going side by side all the way out through the field. Only the top 3 seem to have calmed down any. And these guys are going to go side by side probably for the rest of this 5-lap run if we can keep it green.
Yeah, Alex, you see what's happening, though. Drivers are starting to take these gambles, these moves. They don't pay off. You lose that momentum on the racetrack. Here as we ride on board with Joshua Dickens in that 5 machine. He's in this pack. It's now single file. He now tries at the inside of the 15 in this corner. Out to scramble for those positions, Alex. You're starting to see a little bit more pace out of the 88 of Ryan Andrew. Now Andre Castro now not one.
Yeah, right you are. This is probably the longest green flag run we've had. And these guys whipping it around the racetrack. Ryan Andrew with a gap of about 2/10 over Andre Castro. Just ever getting a little further. Oh, and we've got an almost spin in the back, and I believe he's going to save it. No yellow is going to come out. So immaculate save, but Ryan Andrew gets loose, and here's the battle for the lead. Andre Castro in the number 1 truck goes to the bottom lane, tries something new, and he's going to go side by side with our race leader, Ryan Andrew. You can see the black mark on the track of how much he's turning left, just wearing that right front, but he wants the lead so bad. Tired of sitting in that dirty air of the 88, and it looks like he'll have to do it for just a few laps longer, as he's going to slot back behind the 88, try to build up another run to pass him. Silent mover of the race is Daniel Mostello. He finds himself up to 7th position. Now just behind our short track ringer, Joshua Dickens, who is probably waiting for a long green flag run to really stretch his legs. As right now, looking at the battle between Schneider and Vila, Schneider looks to the inside. That inside lane gonna shove him all the way up the track. Vila using that topside lane to perfection. And Schneider, our points leader, finds himself in 4th spot. As now again a battle for the lead. Andre Castro using that bottom lane, trying to make any move work on the 88 of Ryan Andrew, and it looks like it's not going to work.
No, Andre Castro keeps trying as the yellow flag flies once again. And I think that saves the 88 of Ryan Andrew there, as Castro is starting to figure out a little something there at the top.
Yeah, it looks like he was going to find something good there at the top, and now I'm sure these guys have to feel a twitch from the 3. Here's Christopher Stage. And it looks like he and these group of guys are running pretty good. Oh, and the 12. Oh, and it's a spin out front. Is that Jeff again? Oh, it's Jeff again. And let's see what happened here. Jeff is put 3 side by side with Joey. And he goes up to the top side and gets loose. Oh, and he gets clipped by Tango. And again, another incident for Jeff Maconi. Finds himself at the tail end of the field once again. Well, riding on board with Tao and Tango as he barely misses the 03 Jeff Maconi. I believe it might have been netcode because he missed him by a bit. Caution is out again, and pit road is open, and a flurry of drivers make the stop. As everyone's going to come down pit road, Ryan Andrew, your leader still. Now, the pit strategy here right now is, do you take 4 or do you take 2? If I was stuck in the back and I wanted track position, as Demos has come out, and I believe that's a bold 2-tire strategy, as Daniel Mosteller leapfrogs almost the entire field. Few trucks choosing to stay out. Joey, Ryan, and Cole, but Daniel Mosteller is going to win the race off pit road. I believe he took 2. And getting confirmation, he did take 2. So, Daniel Mosteller, a bold strategy to go out with just less than about 20 laps remaining. Can those 2 right side tires hold on more than a set of 4? That's going to be the gamble. We saw this 2 weeks ago in Darlington. Anthony Burrows took a risky 2-tire call. Now, tires meaning a little bit more at Darlington, as the track just degrades your right sides. A risky move ended up him by a 10th, getting the win over Joshua Dickens, which Dickens finds himself just barely in the top 10 in that 10th spot. But he'll find himself up to 4th. Daniel Mosteller with a risky 2-tire call. The top 2 stayed out. The 3rd car in line drove to the pits and didn't stop. And as we mentioned before, Demos is on 2 tires. And Lutz Jr. also making the bold strategy call to be on 2 tires. As we get ready to go green again in Bristol for, I believe, the 9th time. Ryan Andrew, once longtime leader, finds himself 3rd on the inside lane. But now we've got a whole new group of guys at the front of the field ready to tussle it out here in Bristol with just 20 laps to go. Under the night sky of Bristol, Tennessee, we're green again at Bristol. Trouble in the back. We've got a spin, and it's the 12 truck again. Round they go, and it's a track blocker. Andrew Lutz Jr. on 2-tire call. doesn't look like the gamble is going to pay off. We're going to get an instant replay to see what happened. Loose, saves it, gets tagged by the 5 and goes around. And that is not at all what Lutz wanted, riding on board with Joshua Dickens. And we're just going to see he gets loose, twitches, and I mean, he was braking as much as he could, but there's nothing you can do in that scenario. I mean, if you're Dickens, the worst thing you can do, the best case scenario is you just slam the brakes and hope for the best. Because either if you lock up or if you slam the brakes hard as you can, that's not gonna end you up. In a good scenario either way, but Joey Mashowitz, our leader, why don't we give him a chat? Joey, you stayed out and you find yourself in the lead with these consistent cautions coming out. We did have a green flag run, but this, you were once at your lowest point, 19th, and now you're up to the lead. What is your reaction going on right now?
Well, I can explain the 19th. I figured everyone was going to make one stop in this race, at least a planned one. And I figured they were going to do it a little after halfway, so they'd have the good tires on at the end. And so I, feeling out the field, figured they're waiting one more. Why don't I just get my tires now? And so I did. And now they all got their tires and they're stuck behind me. So we're going to hold them off the best we can. That middle run was absolute chaos. I think I dodged 4 separate wrecks in the slew of it and was still pulling on people. So got a bit of confidence, and hopefully I won't get squirrely loose like I did in the first run.
Well, I mean, interesting strategy call, a sneaky one at that. You go down pit road and jump all of these guys. And so now you find yourself in the lead, getting ready to block these guys with a little bit fresher tires, as we're coming close to getting green again, I believe for the 10th time tonight. You find yourself out in the lead. What do you think is going to go through your mind at the restart?
I'm going to try to not let them get the jump on me, and then hope they continue playing billiards back there, because that'll be the best for me.
Well, good luck out there at the front of the field, and thank you so much for your time. Joey, good luck.
Thank you.
And with a sneaky strategy call, Joey Mashowitz find himself up in the lead. He pulled a cheeky. I didn't even see that happen. So not only did the broadcasters not see it, nobody else saw it coming, and that was very smart. I did not see that planned at all, and Joey made a masterclass move to go ahead and jump up a few spots, as we're going to get ready to go green here. Once again from Bristol, about the 10th restart. I've lost count at this point. There's been so many yellows, I don't know how many restarts we've had, but these guys going strong and not losing any will to get back up to that front end of the field. Joey over Ryan B. Hartz, Cole Polkin, and Daniel Mosteller again on those 2 tires, just like we saw Lutz Jr. as the pace car makes its dive down pit road again, getting very familiar with that. In the green, in the restart zone, we're green again from Bristol. Oh, in trouble already. It looks like he's going to save it. Joshua Dickens goes around the number 5 truck. These guys can't handle a single restart. Caution again for a track blocker in 3. Joshua Dickens spins around. And for one of my picks to be in the top 5, doesn't look like that's going to happen. The 20 squeezes up 3, and he was not clear whatsoever. Josh tries his best to save it, but doesn't look like that's going to happen. They bunch up quite a bit on the restart. Andre Castro, who was up in that top few for a bit, making some aggressive moves on this restart, finds himself, I mean, there was nothing he could do. If the 20 doesn't leave, the 20 is not giving any room at all, squeezing that 3 wide at Bristol, no less. That's not going any well to anyone in that position. Riding on board with Matthew Esparza, this is what he saw. Going into turn 3, he saw these guys spinning around, and he's going to check it up, and just that rear end brake bias, trying to get some extra rotation, spins him around. So 3 wide off the restart, riding on board with James Floyd III. And he's going to dive it down low. Jeff, hold on to it, Jeff, as he not only saved his race car, and another great miss from Jeff. I mean, if Joshua doesn't, no better word for it, overcorrect, he's going straight to Jeff. So good call, going as low as he did, riding on board with the number 9 truck of Jeff Maconi. As he thought he was clear, no he wasn't. Then immediately after that, has a scare in the right side of his window. Caution out again for another race, for another wreck. Let's talk to Jeff. Jeff, you join us here in the Maconi Entertainment booth. Great wreck avoidance again, been involved in a few incidents here tonight, but it's short track racing, it's Bristol, it's the night race. Give us a few insight and tell us how your race has gone so far.
Well, I've learned not to cut it low from the middle to the bottom in 3 and 4. I self-spun doing that, and then Joey and I made a little bit of contact. I tried moving up half a lane, and I self-spun again there. The best piece of advice is watch out for the 17. He's run me over twice under green and once under caution, so be aware of him. And I don't know. Some days you're the squirrel, some days you're the nut, and I don't know where I am today, but I'm just trying to survive and clawing my way back to a half-decent finish.
Well, from my POV, you look like the nut inside the cheek of the squirrel right now, but a good wreck avoidance a couple of times here tonight. Been involved with a few, but so far you look like you have a pretty clean truck, mainly just spins. But as you get your truck under control, we've had a pretty consecutive amount of cautions here tonight. Figured, it was Bristol short track tempers were going to flare, and these guys were not going to be nice to each other at all. But from your POV, what has tonight been like?
It's been good. It's been fun. I just got doored again, so that's 4 times from the 17. That's impressive. Make it a clean sweep. Hit me 5. So we'll see. I think it's just survived. The 11's mad at me for some reason. I don't know what his deal is, but it be what it do. Tempers are flaring. I'm just trying to survive to the end here.
Well, thank you so much, Jeff, and good luck as we're about to go green. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, guys.
The voice of Jeff Maconi as they get ready to go in the Geico restart zone, and we're green for the 12th time at Bristol. Bit of a stack up off of 4, but Dan DeMosteller is honing in on Joey Mashowitz. 2 Maconi setup shop drivers out front right now. And what a better way to go. Ryan Andrew puts the bumper to the 3. He'll go in the middle, and Vila goes around, and Ryan Andrew, massive front bumper damage. We've almost got a flip. Oh my God, this is the biggest wreck here tonight. And this is the real track blocker at Bristol. We've been building up to this with every minor incident here tonight. That is at minimum 10 trucks in that wreck, including longtime race leader Ryan Andrew. We're going to get a replay of that wreck. And oh my God, these guys cannot keep it together for a single lap. As 3 wide, the squeeze didn't work. Oh, I wonder if we can get an onboard with that almost flip. I believe that's the 20 truck. I mean, that's insane. Goes from a harmless almost spin to Kyle Busch at the All-Star race last year. As Ryan Andrew goes up into the wall, gets turned around. I mean, that's just a great view from the 3. Wide open windshield of the 20, just popping that right front and going in the air. That was one of the most insane wrecks I've seen at Bristol, and I've seen a lot of them here tonight, that's for sure. But caution flies out again. And miraculously, the 6 truck I mentioned earlier, who looked like one of the most damaged trucks, is actually now one of the least damaged trucks. Getting back to you live, Joey Mashowitz over Daniel Mosteller, Jacob Schneider, and Ryan Andrew being scored in 4th, but I believe he is scored in 5th. Let's talk to Daniel Mosteller. We can get a word with him. Daniel Mosteller, or Demos, as you know, you join us here in the Maconi Entertainment booth. You started 16th in the high teens this race, all the way up to 2nd on that 2-tire call. Reminiscent of Anthony Burrows here just a shy 2 weeks ago as he came home in victory lane at Darlington. Do you plan on doing the same here tonight at Bristol?
I'm going to try, but it is extremely loose. On that first run, I was killer loose. I got some damage on the rear end. That's not really helping me. I just took two tires to Hail Mary. Joey's on no tires, I think. I think he stayed out on that yellow where we all pit. It seemed like I was a little faster than him on that run we had, but I'm way too loose on the bottom. So, I mean, if we can go green here, if we can make it 1 lap to the white flag, I mean, I could try something if I'm close enough, but I don't know what I could do here. We'll try.
Well, a sneaky thing that no one noticed and no one I did, just the wreck before everyone pit, Joey pit. So he is on somewhat new tires. I mean, at this point, not really anymore. But give us your final thoughts as we're getting ready to go green here in a couple laps. And you taking a Hail Mary to move up through the field all the way up to 2nd. Our first green-white checkered attempt. We're getting ready to go green. Oh, yeah, only green-white checkered attempt. What are your final thoughts, Mos?
We're going to go for it. The guys behind me have some damage from that big wreck. We're going to try something here. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Even if I come home P2, I'll still be happy.
Well, a great race from you so far, and the Hail Mary hopefully looking to work. Demos, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
The voice of Daniel Mosteller there in the 87 truck, lining up in 2nd position over Joey Mashewitz as the green flag. Boy, that arm better be ready, Barney, because this might be the last time you wave it. Here, we're getting ready to go green, and we're green again from Bristol for hopefully the final time. And they're wrecking again in the back, and it's going to be a yellow. And we're going to take a look to see who wins out, because that is our only green-white checkered attempt. And Joey Mashewitz with an insane run on the cheekiest pit stop I've ever seen, comes home under yellow for the first S.O.F. win of the new season at Bristol Motor Speedway. An incredible strategy call to get him up all the way to the lead. As we're going to pace around the line, Barney, you better be waving that flag harder than you've ever waved a flag in your life, because that is our final attempt. And Joey comes home with the win here in Bristol. Daniel Mosteller tried his best to try and make something work, but he ends up 3rd. And Jacob Snyder, great day, great points day for our championship leader. He looks to come out on top, and a great start for some of these guys, but one person not a great start for the second place in the championship. Ryan Andrew finishes 16th here tonight from Bristol, but the only man we care about is the number 64 Doki Doki Literature Club. Number 64 of Joey Mashewitz comes home with the win in Bristol in the first race of the new season, and that is the S.O.F. race in the Maconi Setup Shop Class C Fixed Truck Series. Before we get to interviews, let's take a short break to thank the people who make this all possible. We're going to catch you back here live in just a moment. Stay tuned, and we'll be back just in a moment.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Well, after an exciting race here in Bristol, Tennessee, the Bristol Night Race, or the C-Fixed, Maconi Setup Shop C-Fixed Series, the S.O.F race here tonight, brought to you on Maconi Entertainment. Joey Mashewitz of PA finds himself home with the victory after the cheekiest strategy call I've seen in a minute. Finds himself in victory lane over Jacob Schneider, current points leader, and a good points day for him. Daniel Marceller on that two-tire call finds himself in third. Great run from him to go from 16th to third, one of the biggest movers of tonight. Then it's Andre Castro, Lee Heron, Brandon Chaverko, Kyle Perry, Scott Bell, Christopher Stange, and Abraham Vila to round out your top 10. As here comes the rest of the field. Brooks Marshall in that 11th position. James Floyd III over Matthew Esparza. Adrian Hardy, John Hall, Ryan Andrew, Jeff Maconi, Joshua Dickens, Andrew West Jr., and Towel Owen in that 20th spot. And the remainder of the grid, Ryan B. Hartz, Cole Palkin, Brett M. Garber, and Ron Pedersen, 45 laps down. Now let's see if we can get some interviews here, as we're going to get Joey Mashewitz, our surprise winner. I mean, that was a great strategy call. You caught all of us out here in the broadcast booth and out on track. Most didn't even know you, Pitt. So very, very sneaky call is able to get you to victory lane. Explain that call one more time for us and just how you're feeling right now.
Yeah. First of all, I want to say I love Bristol. I know I said this at Darlington, but I love Bristol. It's a track that I do very well at, and it's a track that I really enjoy the racing at. But yeah, strategy. I figured everyone was going to pit only once if they could help it, and I figured nobody was lurching to pit around like lap 25. Nobody was trying around lap 30, and I figured, well, if I do it now, how much more am I going to wear my tires? And if they're going to come down anyways, let me get it out of the way first and leapfrog the whole field. So that worked out.
Yeah, it sure did find you in victory lane over everyone else in the field. I believe you may have caught everyone out because, again, I just want to call out that was a masterclass in strategy because nobody saw it coming. With everybody telling all of these cautions coming out, we just would have thought you would have sat in the field and rode around, but no, you took some action, pit when everyone else didn't, and you come home with the win. So congratulations on that. And anyone else you'd like to thank?
Yeah, Maconi Setup Shop, obviously. Thanks to my involvement there, I'll be getting the VIP treatment at Bristol this weekend. So that's going to be a great time. Maconi Entertainment, you guys in the booth doing a great job as always. A Bruzy Racewear for these awesome gloves that I use in all my races that you can't see because I don't use a camera. Yeah, everybody who I'm forgetting, thanks to everybody who helps this group and helps put on these fantastic shows.
Well, once again, congratulations for your win here tonight in Bristol. An insane strategy call finds you out front in the world's fastest half mile in the last great Coliseum. Joey, thank you. Oh, there he is. And there he goes. Daniel Mosteller We couldn't get second place, so we got third best. You find yourself in third position, just lost a spot on that final restart, but you really didn't get a chance to stretch your legs. But coming on with third after starting 16th has to be good no matter what. Give us your thoughts on how that race went for you as a whole and how you ended up at the end.
Kind of glad that yellow came out, to be honest. On that second to last restart, I was able just to get away. There were some people that had stayed out that were kind of my buffer. I think if it went green from there, I think I could have given Joey a run for his money. That wasn't the case, and on that last restart, I just didn't time it well. It's unfortunate, but I was running P10 at best before the pit cycle, so to throw that Hail Mary out there, take 2 tires, gain a lot of spots, and have a shot at the win. That's all I could ask for. It's frustrating, but you got to look at the positives out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the hardest chargers of tonight finds you find yourself up into the third position. Absolutely astonishing run from you to climb all the way through the field, cautions and wrecks aside. I mean, it takes a man to go from almost last to first at Bristol, and you were one of the ones to almost do it. So definitely, probably going to be seeing you for the rest of the week here. Run a few more races, and anything else you'd like to say?
Congrats to Joey on the win. He played the strategy absolutely perfect. Kind of self-inflicted wound on my part. I messed up in qualifying. I smacked the wall coming to my second lap, and it ruined my first lap, and then it slowed down my second lap, and that's what put me back there in the first place. The truck was really hard to drive, at least for me. After I got the left rear damage, it just made it worse. But as I said, that Hail Mary call, it finally worked in one of these races. Thanks to you guys for broadcasting. Can't wait to watch back on it. Good racing with everybody in the field. Look forward to maybe doing a few more this week. But I got to get better at this because I struggled a lot.
Well, gonna have a whole week to improve. Most, thank you so much for your time and congratulations on third.
Thanks.
That was the voice of Daniel Moscato, and the last person we're going to talk to is the most animated person we've had in the booth besides me, Will, and Ryan secretly behind the cameras. You can't hear him, but I can in my ear. Jeff, I mean, as well of a run as you could say, being tossed around like a ping pong ball all throughout the field. As my great analogy earlier, the nut in the squirrel's cheek. You find yourself in 17th, topsy-turvy. You did look like you had pace. 18 incidents. I mean, you were around the whole field tonight. Give us a rundown on everything. I mean, you were everywhere.
Yeah, I caught some real bad luck with netcode. 8x came from netcode. 4x came from 8x came from netcode. 8x came from the same guy slamming into me twice. And then I got 4x from, no, that doesn't add up. I got 2x from one self spin. And the other one, I guess it didn't give me incidents. But yeah, and what are you going to do? And the craziest part about it is the 17 in the race said something to me. And I responded back with, well, you didn't say anything after the first wreck, and then you keep driving me like that. He goes, I wasn't even driving. Somebody out, my friend was, and I jumped in. And I don't know why. Yeah, why would you admit to that is my question. So it was a race, and then at the end there, just unfortunate when you're running this tight at Bristol. iRacing does a really, really good job keeping up with everything and predicting where people are going to be. And sometimes you catch a short end of the stick. The 2 got into my right rear, and it pulled me straight up the track. And so I ended up, I was running like 10th, which is incredible for how rough my night was, but ended up P17 on scoring. And what are you going to do? You win some, you lose some, and you make a jerk of yourself and others. I don't know where I fell tonight, but it is what it is. We'll move on to Texas next week. Joy.
I mean, yeah, you were kind of all over the place, and although I may be young, brushing up on my forensics, eyewitness testimony says that it's very strong in a court of law, and him going out and publicly admitting that and it now being on stream, don't know if that was the smartest call from him. I don't know if anyone's going to take action against that, but eyewitness testimony says that self-incrimination is not the smartest move to pull. But again, you win some, you lose some. You were all throughout the field, but sounds like you had a blast out there when you weren't wrecking. So even though runs were cut short by cautions, you had pretty good speed for when you were doing good. Oh, I think that's unfortunate. The slow-mo is of you spinning.
Yeah. Thank you, being a sim racer Ryan Bauer. He always treats me well. That's why we pay him the big bucks. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I love. I used to not run too many fixed setup races because when you run a setup shop, you sort of run open a lot. But now that we're working with iRacing and doing an eNASCAR and running this fixed setup series, it's so much fun. Even on nights like this where you don't drive too well and you end up with people admitting to cheating. Even on nights like that, it's still a lot of fun. So real happy for Joey. He and I are great friends. We have been for years. We met on iRacing in a C Open race that he thought was C Fixed, and we've become best friends since then. He's coming out to Bristol. eNASCAR, Ray Smith hooked us up with the whole VIP package there, so can't thank them enough. Got to thank everyone over at eNASCAR and iRacing and Maconi Setup Shop, you guys here at Maconi Entertainment, Maconi Competizone for organizing events and stuff like that, Abruzzi Racewear, Ron the Snack Guy. I can't think. I'm so exhausted from that race. WSMN 1590, Victory Sim. Trying to see if there's anyone I forgot on the side of my car. I don't think there is. I think I covered everyone. If I didn't, I apologize. But I think I hit Ron the Snack Guy. If I didn't, apologies to him. I love his stuff. He's going to be at the RCR Fan Day. So if you go to the RCR Fan Day, get something from Ron the Snack Guy. Tell him Jeff and Maconi Setup Shop sent you. Super nice guy. Veteran-owned business. Can't beat a guy like him. So yeah, I guess just keep the chin up. Be happy for Joey and trying to perform better at Texas next week.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great to have you here, and thank you so much, Jeff, as congratulations on making it through that race, because you were definitely slammed around as much as possible. But Jeff, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for putting this on.
Absolutely. That was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for an awesome broadcast. And Will, you were a last-minute sub in here. Much appreciated, and all great stuff from you guys as well. So thank you.
Well, that rounds out our field, and Maconi Setup Shop, the official setup shop of eNASCAR and the proud sponsor of the C-Fix Series, the Maconi Setup Shop C-Class C-Fix Series is the title sponsor. As thank you to the race sponsor, Maconi Setup Shop, as well as our broadcast partner, Maconi Competizone. Calling the action tonight was myself, Alexander Valderas, alongside Will Teller. Will, you will be missed. Thank you so much for joining me in the booth with Ryan Bauer producing, with cameras by the great Dougie Beard. Thank you to all of our viewers for watching tonight's racing action, and hope you will stay tuned to all of our social media pages and for our next race, Texas Motor Speedway. Same time next week. Be here, don't be square. Thanks to the entire staff for their work in bringing this racing to you. This has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. We'll see you next time.